Coming up on today's show, all eyes are on the world number one this week as he makes his return to action.
At roughly 3 p.m. today, Dustin took a serious fall on a staircase in his Augusta rental home.
Dustin Johnson having to withdraw. When will he have another chance to enter the Masters coming off of 3 straight wins?
But how will Dustin Johnson fare? We break it down with perspective from our insiders. And we welcome two-time PGA Tour winner Russell Knox to the show.
Russell Knox, second win of the year. Where's your heart rate at right now?
Man, that putt, hell, I'll remember that one forever.
Find out the impact of his first win on American soil. And Let's Play Golf Week continues as we show you the best ways to bring beginners to the game and keep them interested for the long run. Morning Drive starts now. Yes, we have a packed 2 hours and these guys are ready to go. Look at the bottom screen there. The man who calls himself a beast and tosses a baseball cap unlike any other, Russell Knox, is joining us live. And then at the top right, the insider is in the house. Tim Rosaford opens up his notebook on Morning Drive. Plus top left, Travis Fulton will break down Dustin Johnson's trusty power fade ahead of his return to the PGA Tour this week. As we welcome you into Studio AP on this Tuesday, May 2nd, Chris DeMarco in the house as well, 3-time PGA Tour winner. Alongside me this morning, Cara Robinson, Damon Hack and Chantal McCabe will be with us as well. Now, we are encouraging you all to get into golf this week, and we have an NBA star who's been doing just that, Chris. We've got to check this out. The Greek freak of the Milwaukee Bucks, otherwise known as Giannis Antetokounmpo, took off to Topgolf recently, and I want to know what you make of his swing, Chris.
All-star thing. Let's see this golf. Oh, no. Stick to Duncan. That's all I'm going to say. Duncan and blocking shots.
You know what? At least he's having a go.
He is having a go, and he's doing it at Topgolf, which is a great place to do it. But, okay. I like how he lifts that left foot up a little bit. He gets it off the ground a little bit. Yeah.
A little bit of movement in his golf swing. Well, let's get straight to what is happening now. And we did kick off Let's Play Golf Week yesterday. It continues today as we focus on different ways to grow the game. Now, each day has a different theme. And today is all about the beginners as we ask you to bring a new golfer to the course and introduce them to our sport. So we'll help show you the best ways to help someone you know and keep them interested for the long run. Let's take a look at the schedule for the week ahead then. Today, as we said, is Bring a Beginner Tuesday. Tomorrow is Women's Wednesday when we will have an all-female cast on Morning Drive. You don't want to miss that. And we look to help more female golfers enjoy time out on the course. Then we test drive Thursday as we look at some of the latest and greatest advancements in golf gear to help your game. And Family Golf Friday will encourage you to bring the entire family with you for quality time out on the golf course. So we're better to start than with our very own Chris DeMarco. I'm sure you get many people coming to you for advice. What advice do you give to the beginners?
Well, if you're going to begin the game of golf, I think the most important thing is to do it at least the correct way. And for me, the correct way is with a good grip. I think that everything starts there. It's where you hold the club. It's where everything goes. You need to at least do that right. Everything's going to feel foreign to you if you're first starting. So you might as well at least do it the right way and then learn the right way. Then you're going to actually get better quicker by doing it the correct way.
All right, we're actually going to have a little bit more on the grip later in today's show. There's a segment with Travis and Chris you don't want to miss. But if you could suggest one player on the professional circuit who would be a good person to watch to try and emulate, who would that be?
You know, I look at somebody on the LPGA Tour, Lydia Ko, the world's number one, and you look at everything she does and just look at her tempo. There's no rush ever in her golf swing. She's very consistent. Her timing's always on. Her grip is extremely consistent. She does the same thing every time. There's just no rush in her golf swing. I think that's the most important thing is that if you look at somebody who lets the ball get in the way of the club, that's what she does.
That is great. I need to remember that.
Yeah.
That is very good advice. Who better than the world number one, I suppose. Plenty of world number ones in action this week, but you guys can have your say too. So come and tweet us at GC Morning Drive to tell us about someone in your life you want to get into golf and why. And don't forget to use the hashtag Let's Play Golf as we now say good morning to Damon Hack.
Good morning, C. Rob. You will recall Dustin Johnson was the favorite entering the Masters off those 3 straight victories, but a freak accident. He fell down the stairs. He hurt his back on Wednesday of the week. He tried to go, was unable to start the tournament. Well, this week, he returns to action at the Wells Fargo Championship, and Tim Rosefort returns as well. Good morning, buddy. How are you?
Good morning. What's this C. Robbie thing? I didn't.
C. Rob, D-Hack, LT, all these nicknames, Rosie the Insider.
That's new for me. I know.
Speaking of nicknames, DJ, back in action. What's he been up to?
Well, a lot of gym time, and actually hit a lot of time on a golf course too. Talked to Claude Harmon. He was out at Floridian all day Friday. His speeds are fine. Claude said actually he's talking about going for 4 straight, and it's been a while since somebody won that many on a PGA Tour. It was Tiger at the end of 07, and then wrapping around into 08, won 5 straight. And Joey D, though, his performance coach, is saying, yeah, he's been dedicated, but, you know, there's always the rust factor. Let's see. It's been a month since he really had to hit a golf shot in competition. And Players, not a place to go into cold, obviously. And then, in actuality, this was sort of planned anyway. He was going to take some downtime during this time of year. As everybody knows, Dustin has no problem taking downtime. And so he's hanging out on the boat. He's with Paulina. She's pregnant. They're going to have a baby. So, you know, this was blocked down anyway, and it allowed him an opportunity not to be rushing in this comeback, which was a good point. You know, he told people in his camp that he actually thought he had broke his back in the initial days after this. It was that much pain.
He's come back from different things, injuries, from murky situations, off the course struggles as well. I remember talking to Claude Harmon III. He said nothing bothers DJ. Is that the sense that this is just going to be a footnote on the way to continued greatness?
Well, you know, based on where he was before this happened, yeah. I mean, you just don't know, though. You know, it's hard to wheel it back out there, even though you've been playing so well with the 3 straight. It's pretty darn impressive to call up the official World Golf Rankings and see 3 1s in a row there, and it's not Tiger Woods' name next to it. So, you know, he had, as we all know, it seemed very comfortable in this role he's in as number 1.
I know he spent some time out in Los Angeles, my old neck of the woods, Bel Air Country Club. Nice spot to be hanging out.
Spot.
What was he doing there?
Well, he was a recipient of the Friends of Golf golf tournament, the award that all the greats have been through there. You know, Dustin, though, not really. This is not his comfort zone. I mean, he's more comfortable hitting a 320-yard cut than he is getting in front of it. It's a double shotgun, but I'm told he just handled it like he was Phil Mickelson. A couple of meet and greets, riding around the golf course, shaking hands, doing a clinic. The first there is a par 5. Nobody ever hits it over the creek. He was bombing shots over the creek, just putting on a show. And then afterward, the thing that he's probably least likes is talking about himself.
Sure.
And he did a Q&A with Jim Nance, and I'm told he did it with great aplomb. It was you know, it's a big room. Bel Air's a big, you know, a big place with all the stars, and he just kind of fit right in. They're just raving about it. It's been a couple of weeks, and they're still talking about it. I got friends who are members there calling up saying, wow, DJ was just incredible when he came in here. So maybe we're seeing a new side of him in that regard as well, too.
Great stuff, Rosie, and clearly comfortable as the world number 1, Dustin Johnson, Cara.
Yeah, thank you, Dave. And Chris, it has been 3 weeks, as they were saying, since the Masters. What are your expectations then on DJ's return this week?
I mean, obviously, if he's 100% healthy, I like his chances. I think anything, he's rested mentally for sure. I just hope he is 100% healthy, because I went through the same kind of thing back in 06 where I tried to play through the pain in my back and the ribs. And what you end up doing is you end up doing something different in your golf swing to try to compensate for that pain. So I want him to be 100% healthy. We know what he can do when he is 100% healthy. You know, 3 victories in a row. But if he tries to come back a little bit too early, he can tweak it. It can be an ongoing injury that you know, it's hard to get over. So I just want him to get 100% healthy. There's so much golf left in his career that you know, coming back a little bit too early might not be the best thing, but if he says he's 100% healthy and his trainer says he's 100% healthy, then go for it.
Yeah, I mean, the last thing Dustin Johnson wants to do is change anything in his swing. He won his 3 last starts consecutively. As we know, this could be number 4. You'd expect it perhaps not to be, because even if he is 100% healthy, 3 weeks out of competitive golf means you would potentially allow for some rust.
Yeah, but you think about this golf course, you know, it's going to hold the PGA Championship here soon in a couple of years, and it is a big golf course, and it fits right up his alley, a great driver of the golf ball. We've seen what he's done now with his wedge game, how great he's become, number 1 inside certain distances, you know, up to 125 yards, and that's something that we hadn't seen him do. And he's making putts, and when he does that also, when you add all that together, it's a good recipe for a lot of success.
Yeah, Dustin Johnson could well be very dangerous this week and indeed for the rest of the season. We'll wait to see. It is time now, though, to welcome in our Golf Channel Academy lead coach as we say good morning to Travis Fulton.
Yeah, good morning, Cara. And how about this? Since going to the fade, Dustin Johnson, 6 wins and a major championship. And oh, by the way, he still hits it a long ways. #1 on the PGA Tour in driving distance. So who says you can't hit the power fade as long as that draw? A couple things that I want to point out to you that helps hit that power fade that we can learn from Dustin Johnson. The first thing here at address, Dustin definitely aiming a little more to the left. Makes sense, trying to hit the power fade, bar more to the left. The second thing, notice that ball position outside of the lead shoulder. Play the ball forward, especially with that amount of shaft lead when you're trying to hit the fade. So here we go. Let's have some fun here. Power swing, first move, bit of an idiosyncrasy here. Look at his hands kind of go out away from his body. He tries to make some room there. His hands get out here. He starts to bow that left wrist down. Key, though, is that club head still stays a little bit outside of the hand, so very wide position 1. Now, here we go. Big windup. Watch this turn. Big shoulder turn. Lots of extension in the spine. Look at that crazy backswing there, really good. You can see the right hip here really drawing back. Tries to keep a little bit of flexion in the right knee. Sometimes Dustin will kind of straighten out that right leg a little too much, and that can be problematic on the downswing. Generally speaking, when you're trying to hit a fade, try to keep a little more flexion in the right knee. Now, of course, most notably, that bowed left wrist, the face is shut. That's key to hitting that power fade, because as he comes down here, as we come down into the delivery position here, he really stays right there. He covers the golf ball nicely here in the delivery. He doesn't back up. That's key for Dustin. When he comes down, he doesn't drop back this way, but he stays right there. So when he rotates into impact here, he takes that bowed left wrist and he just really turns and burns. There's no flip in this golf swing, folks. He just rotates, gets the club face looking left of the target line. That's key, the club face left of the target line. And then from there, as he continues to rotate, the path is going to work a little bit more left of that, and that's what hits that power fade. So you would think, even though that face is a little bit shut, that might kind of be a little problematic to hitting the fade, but it really works to his advantage. He can take that club face and really rotate hard to the left and hit that bullet fade. It's impressive to watch, Cara. Back to you.
Great stuff, Travis. Thank you. It is time now, though, to look ahead to the Travelers Championship that takes place at TPC River Highlands the last week of June. And Russell Knox is getting set to defend his title. That was one of the best moments after he outlasted Jim Furyk's remarkable record score of 58 on Sunday last year and dramatically captured his second PGA Tour title. Well, he joins us now from Cromwell, Connecticut. Russell, good morning.
Morning, how are you?
Wonderful, thank you. Good to speak to you as well. I know you're fresh off a trip to New Orleans last week as well. Let's focus, though, on that second win last year. It turned out to be your best season on the PGA Tour, and you said that you would remember the Travelers win forever. Why was it such an important victory for you?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I mean, it was very important for me, I felt, to back up my first victory in China. So I really wanted to kind of have the validation that I was able to win again. So that was very important to me. And also, I mean, with the Ryder Cup coming up, it was really important to try and put in a great performance to see if I could make a push for the team. So all this came into an unbelievable week here in Hartford.
You mentioned the Ryder Cup, Russell. I've got to pick up on that because you did come so close to making that European team last year, and of course you just fell short of a pick from Captain Clark. Many people disagreeing with the fact that you weren't part of that Ryder Cup team. How do you reflect now in terms of anything you'd like to change going forward to perhaps prevent a situation like that?
No, I mean, I wouldn't change anything, I don't think. I mean, I was happy the way I went about my season. I felt like I played well. I mean, I tried my best. I mean, the stars just kind of aligned against me this time. And I mean, obviously the guys that he selected were excellent players, and they deserve to be on the team. So it was just one of those unfortunate things, and I happened to be the odd one out. But no, I was happy the way I scheduled my year, and ultimately I played my best golf I ever have. So hopefully next time.
Do you plan to play a little bit more in Europe this time around ahead of the 2018 Ryder Cup?
Yes, I'll definitely be playing. I'm going to head over to play in the BMW Championship at Wentworth here pretty shortly, and then also I mean, in the summer, the French Open, the Scottish Open, And obviously next year in 2018, I'll definitely look at my schedule a little bit more to add tournaments to hopefully do all I can to make the team.
That is good news. I'm sure the European fans will love seeing you play at home, particularly in Scotland as well. You spoke about team golf. Well, last week I mentioned it. You were part of the first team event on the PGA Tour in 36 years. You and Kevin Streelman combined. Of course, didn't quite make it to the weekend, but still had some highlights to remember, including a nice chip and eagle on the 16th hole on Friday. Were you a fan of this new format, Russell?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Kevin and I, we had a good time. We obviously didn't play as well as we'd have liked. In fact, I mean, I think the only shot we holed was my wedge shot. I mean, we couldn't putt the ball in from 3 feet. But I mean, the format was very exciting. We enjoyed it. I think everybody did. So I think I mean, it was an amazing finish. I mean, with Kevin Kisner chipping in there on 18 to force the playoff, and then I mean my good friend Jonas Blix and his partner Cameron winning. So it was really an exciting finish, and I watched the end of it for sure.
Right, they're fellow Jacksonville residents, so I'm sure, as you say, you're very pleased to see them win yesterday. Kevin Streelman, your partner, is actually joining us later in the show, so we'll pick his brain on it as well. But before we let you go, it's our Let's Play Golf Week on Morning Drive. So can you tell us all how you first got into golf?
Yeah, I mean, growing up in Scotland, I mean, there's obviously a lot of golf courses there. And my dad played with his friends on the weekends, and I just kind of tagged along. And at the time, I was playing a lot of soccer, so I really enjoyed the individual part of golf. If I played well, it was the praise was on me. If I played poorly, it was all my fault. So I really enjoyed that part of golf, and ultimately that's why I chose to play it, and very lucky to get to do it every day for a living.
And as a successful champion you are today. Well, listen, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We'll look forward to watching you defend the Travelers Championship alongside a stellar field. I know that we'll feature several of the world's top golfers this year. And hey, here's to hoping you get to toss that cap once again, because that was a moment to remember.
Yeah, that was fun. Thank you very much. Hopefully I'll get my chance.
All right, Russell Knox, thanks so much for joining us this morning. Let's get you caught up now with the tee sheet as we say good morning to Chantel McCabe.
Good morning, Cara, and good morning, everybody at home. It's time to see what's ahead on Morning Drive with the tee sheet. Good Tuesday. Let's Play Golf Week is here. Yesterday was the world's largest golf outing, and today we welcome beginners to the game. We'll have tips if you're new to the game of golf, and our insider Tim Rosafort checks in. Find out what big names are getting an early preview of Quail Hollow ahead of the PGA Championship this August. May is Skin Cancer Awareness Month, and playing golf obviously requires a lot of time outdoors, so we'll explain which sunscreen is best for the course and how often you should be using it. Damon, over to you.
All right, Chantel, so much more on this big Tuesday. Yeah, we got more Chantel, Rosie, Cara, Chris, Mike Small, Rich Barbarian Jr. We got Kevin Streelman of Wilson, driver versus driver frame. Lots going on. Don't move. Stay here. That was Amy. Did Amy get on TV? That was Amy.
Everybody's in.